Secretary Jen Psaki says more than 28 million COVID-19 vaccine doses will be available for distribution across the United States. Psaki says over the past 3 weeks, the administration has sent out 90 million doses. She added that the Biden administration did not support the idea of a federal mandate requiring Americans to carry vaccination credentials. Let's get the latest from Washington now on the COVID-19 vaccine rollout with our correspondent Nick Harper. Nick, thank you for being with us. So this really sounds like a lot of vaccines, 28 million available for distribution, but put this into context, population-wise, where the US has come from. How is the vaccine rollout going?
Well, we've certainly seen during the course of President Biden's first 100 days a significant ramp up in terms of the vaccine rollout. He's due to make a speech in just a couple of hours' time in which we're expecting him to say that the United States has so far vaccinated about 150 million people, and he's expecting to get 200 million shots administered during his first 100 days. And we're about 4 weeks, probably slightly less, away from doing that. Now, that is above and beyond what he had initially promised. He initially said 100 shots in arms during his first 100 days. That would be a doubling of that. Some people have said that he perhaps deliberately under-promised in the hope that he would be able to over-deliver. In terms of the US population, it's about 330 million in total, slightly less than that. So the US is doing well. It is getting a lot of vaccines out there. But when you look at the percentage of people who are fully vaccinated, it is still quite low. Only about 19% are fully vaccinated, meaning that they've had both of the double dose vaccines or they've had the single Johnson & Johnson vaccine that just requires the one dose. So there's certainly been a ramp up effort of this rollout program, and President Biden, we are expecting a few hours to say that things essentially are going well.
Are they going well enough to make the previous administration of Donald Trump look bad? Or are people making that comparison and saying that the previous administration could have done more, but it didn't?
Well, the Democrats have certainly pushed that idea throughout, that President Trump simply didn't move ahead quickly enough with any of it. His initial response to the pandemic and then his rollout of the vaccinations. President Trump, in response, has been putting out statements in the last few weeks essentially saying that he deserves more credit for the state of America at this stage, saying that if it wasn't for him, that incredible vaccine approval process, the speed of that we saw much quicker than normal, quite simply wouldn't have happened. So, I mean, it really depends whether you ask a Democrat or a Republican about the state of play and who should be getting the credit. But the Biden administration is trying to show, and the numbers do support it, that they have been able to get vaccinations out there much quicker, ramping up that logistical challenge to get them to pharmacies, to supermarkets, to mass vaccination sites right around the country much quicker than the past administration did.
Nick, is there a clear target and timeline when, say, the majority of Americans will be vaccinated? Because there's a huge stimulus being pumped into the economy, ideas that the economy could do so well this year. But of course, the vaccine drive plays a crucial role.
It certainly does. I mean, President Biden made it very, very clear that when he came into office, his number one priority was COVID, with the economy a very close second, but essentially tied because the economic recovery was linked to the pandemic. He is also due to announce in that speech in just a few hours' time the removal of eligibility requirements, essentially trying to speed things up. We were about a month or so away from all Americans over the age of 16 being eligible for a vaccine, not just the older population. He's expected to say in that speech that as of April the 19th, anyone over the age of 16 should be allowed to get a shot. But that doesn't mean that they will, on April the 19th, instantly get the vaccinations. And the White House is making it clear that it will take several months beyond that to get as many people vaccinated as possible. They are hopeful that the summer may be a time where we are getting to the point where the majority of Americans are fully vaccinated. vaccinated. But there are still a large number of holdout groups across the United States. We've seen some pockets of Republicans saying that they won't be getting vaccinated. One survey recently showed that evangelical white Christians in America, about 45% of them said they wouldn't get vaccinated. And in thinking, there's about 41 million of them across the United States. There is still that concern that there are these holdout groups who quite simply won't get vaccinated. And that makes it very challenging to achieve that herd immunity in the future that obviously America and all other countries around the world want to try and achieve.
Sure, please follow that for us. Very quickly before you go, the World Health Organization spoke about vaccination passports, this idea that's been mooted with concern. It's concerned about the implications. Tell us about the debate in the US right now.
Yeah, it's certainly raging here. The White House ruling that out just within the last hour. Jen Psaki, the press secretary, saying that the White House would not support that. They wouldn't require people to carry this. Effectively, a pass that shows that you have been vaccinated, which would then allow you to go to public places like pubs, restaurants, gyms, sports venues. Republicans are very much against it. We've already seen two state governors in Texas and Florida ban these passports. Republicans say that it's an invasion of privacy, that it creates this more privileged group of people who have been vaccinated, effectively saying that it should be given to those who want. They should have the right to be vaccinated or not. That chimes well with those Republican supporters who are saying that they don't want to get vaccinated. But the White House at this stage saying that they will not try and push ahead with plans for a vaccination passport. The WHO have already been very cautious about countries doing that around the world.
Thank you very much. From the US, our correspondent Nick Harper. And we